I want to congratulate Jerry on this well-deserved, I would say long-deserved, and well-deserved honor. We're so happy for you, Jerry. You've been was it a finalist 11 times? And so this is a patient man. As you see, these displays are great, and it really is a tribute to Jerry and the incredible 11-year career that he had. He won 5 NFL championships, 2 Super Bowls, became one of the most decorated offensive linemen in the history of the NFL. When I was growing up, Jerry, I watched you, and that was a time when guards didn't get a lot of attention. But Jerry, I think because of the instant replay and obviously the success of the Packers, I have this image of Jerry pulling around, and he really brought a lot of recognition not only to the Packers but to the game of football and particularly line play. And the nice thing from my perspective, Jerry, is you've stayed actively involved with the organization. Every time we ask you to do something, you're right here, and you're beloved by our fans. Jerry and I were talking earlier, a man named Joe Horgan, who's the president of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He and I were talking, and he said, I'm really glad Jerry got in. Oh, I said, yeah, so am I. Isn't it great? He deserves it. He said, well, yeah, he deserves it, but the number of emails and letters and cards that I get is going to drop dramatically because all those Packer fans that have been calling me over the last so many different years.
On behalf of the Green Bay Packers Hall of Fame Incorporated, I want to congratulate Jerry on finally being inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The exhibit opening today is a tribute to a man that was not only a great football player, as his career can attest, but he has been an even better ambassador for the Green Bay Packers in the Hall of Fame since his playing days.
Well, my daughter, Alicia, is closely related to her mother and seems to have the same tendencies. So she told me she was going to start a campaign. I said, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think we need to do that. We get in, fine. If we don't get in, I'm now happy with it. I'm comfortable with it. Well, I'm going to do it. All right. Go ahead and do it. So she was going along a couple years, and then a young man named Randy Simon, who was in PR work for the governor, called and said he'd like to help. So they got together for lunch, and he suggested that they get Hall of Famers to write letters for us. So they sent out letters, and they got about 60 to 65 letters back from Bob Lilly and Starbuck and Alex and Willie and on and on and on. And I think that hardened her resolve. That made her believe even more that I belonged in, so she upped her efforts. And we were talking about Joe Horgan earlier, and Joe told me that my nomination would reduce his incoming mail by 90%. He said, those Packer fans have questioned my sanity, my heredity, my manhood. They've questioned everything about me. And I'm so happy that you're finally in. And it has been a long wait. And actually, I sympathize with Terrell Owens just a little bit, because my little emotional boat got a little tippy there along the way a couple times when I anticipated going in, and it didn't happen. Got my lip out, and I pouted a little bit, and I was angry, and I was upset, and if they call, I'm going to tell them where to go and what to do and all this kind of stuff. And actually, I came to an accommodation with my position. The game and the Packer organization and the Packer fans had such an impact on my life, and it was such a positive impact. It was like having 100 presents and not getting one, and letting the one you didn't get spoil the other 100. And I came to that thought and that idea and said, well, that's not going to happen here, because we're very comfortable with the 100 presents. And if we get one more, that's fine. If we don't, that's fine. That's the way life is. So I was pretty comfortable with without the nomination. And again, even this last time, I looked at it as a singular event. This is just another applause, another compliment. And if we get in, fine. If we don't get in, fine. We've established a record for nominations.